Now let's go and start working uh, with the EFS or the shared file system. Now, first is why do we need a shared file system in the first place? Okay, what exactly is going to be the requirement? What exactly is going to be the benefit of using this shared file system for us? Okay, let me bring in here my drawing sheet and let me share the same example which we have did earlier. Okay, so uh, okay. All right. I hope you remember that where we actually created a multiple instances and then added those instances underneath the load balancer, right? And in this case, uh, all these machines, all these servers gonna be having their own index file, right? If I need to go and update the my website, my web page, I actually need to go and update the index file on all these servers. Okay, the update is gonna be required across all these zones, all these machines, which is gonna be kind of a cumbersome. This is a kind of a small environment, and change might be possible. But in case if you're gonna be going and using a large environment, then this change is gonna be kind of complex and difficult to make. Okay, so what we can do in this case is we can actually go and use shared storage here in this case. Okay, we can go and use an EFS here, and we can actually go and keep the index file in this common location. So which means we can request that all the servers are going to be going and consuming the index file from this location. Okay, going to be going and using the index file from this location, and whenever there is a need for us to go and update it, we actually going to be going and updating it on a one single location. Okay. All right. In that way, so it is gonna be much more easier for us to go and and maintain and consume the data. Okay, and this is going to be also helping you to achieve a high availability. In case something goes wrong in one of the server or another zone, we are okay with that. We are fine with that. These servers gonna be continue to consume the same set of files, same set of data from the shared storage. And this EFS storage is actually configured in a region, not in a zone. Okay. So while building it, you don't have to go and put that in a one specific zone. It is going to be outside the zone. It is going to be in the region. All the servers across different zones in that region will be able to go and use this EFS or the shared file system. Is that okay? Is that fine? Does this make sense to you? All right, very, very nice. If I'm going to take you back here to the product page, and if I share that different type of storage which are available here, okay. So in the file storage category, we actually have two options to choose from. Okay, we can actually go and use these two options. One is EFS, and the other one is FSX. Now, what is the difference in these two? Okay, so the EFS is compatible with Linux because Linux and Windows both uses a different file system structure. Okay, so in Windows, the file permissions, the file structure is maintained by Active Directory. Okay, with the help of the Active Directory, you can maintain, you can configure that who can use the file, who can read, who can write, who have full permissions on it. And Linux has its own way of managing and maintaining the file system and the permissions. And that is what is going to be going to be possible with the help of the EFS and FSX. EFS is for Linux and FSX is for Windows. So if you have a multiple Windows machines, use FSX. If you have multiple Linux servers, use the EFS there. So one more thing which you need to be aware of it, which you need to know here is when you're going to be going and using the FSX on Windows, you need to set up an Active Directory server as well. Okay, so FSX is not going to work without Windows Active Directory server. It does require an Active Directory server to work. Okay, because that is how the centralized permissions and the file systems are going to be managed. Okay, so I'm actually going to be going and showing you the EFS, right? Because in this environment, we don't have permission to go and build an Active Directory, and it's going to be a cumbersome process. So you're going to be going and using the EFS and going to be attaching that to the multiple Linux systems here. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to go and take you to EC2 dashboard. Okay. And what I'm going to be going and starting with is I'm actually going to be going and creating a firewall rule. Okay, we will go to the security group and we will create a new firewall rule. In that firewall rule, I'm going to allow the NFS services and I'm going to be going and allowing the SSH services for Linux box. Let's go and do that. Create security group. Security group name is going to be Linux EFS firewall. We need SSH and we need NFS service here. Okay, both need to be permitted. EFS is going to be going and using the NFS underneath. All right. Okay. And then we need to go and have some rules added. Okay. And the first which I'm going to be going and choosing is the SSH. It is going to be allowed for IPv4 anywhere. Add one more rule. Going to be HTTP. Again, going to be anywhere. Okay. This looks great. All right. That's it. We will go ahead and say this looks good. Oh, sorry, not the HTTP, mistaken here. It should be NFS. Here it is. Okay, how to access security group? Go to the EC2 dashboard. All right. So once you're going to be there on the EC2 dashboard, that is where you have security groups here. Okay. Now, when we are going to be going and creating Linux machines, when we are going to be going and creating the EFS file system, we are actually going to be going and using this firewall rule. Okay. Is this good? Are you with me on the screen? Oh, do we need any kind of an outbound traffic as well? No. Okay. So one thing to remember for this security group is all the outbound traffic is allowed by default. Okay. So we have all traffic is allowed. So we only control the inbound traffic. Outgoing traffic is all allowed by default.